So if you want to build a mindset that 99% of people don't have, I think it starts in the gym. You've probably heard it like 100 times before that, oh, if you start going to the gym, you will build discipline and you'll build an iron mindset. And for me, yeah, it helps build that mindset, but I really just want to share how and why that happened. When I first started going to the gym, I thought it was all about this, like, oh, I need to look good and I need to impress girls and I just want abs or whatever. And sure, it might have started like that, but it created something else in me that I started to chase instead. So in this video, I want to share some steps that really helped me and what steps you can take to translate the things that you learn in the gym into other aspects of life as well. So I just want to be really transparent. That's what this whole YouTube channel is about. It's about being transparent and documenting the journey. So when I first started going to the gym, initially it had no effect at all. I honestly have been going consistently for 6 months. I didn't see any results. I thought, what am I doing? I'm eating in a calorie deficit because I was slightly overweight and nothing happened to me. I couldn't even see any definition on myself. But when I kept going, because I was at a point where I can't quit now, I've been going for 6 months and I just kept going. And I created this like schedule in my head that I needed to go to the gym, and I was being consistent about going to the gym. And it's been a few years now and I've seen like a lot of progress. So I kept being consistent for years, and this really just created some kind of momentum for me. And this momentum really just started to crawl into other aspects of my life as well. I started thinking differently and how I approach tasks, because the gym is not about an instant dopamine hit. You will not get any results the first year probably. You'll see some gains here and there depending on the person and your diet and all that. But it's when you go for 5 years, you'll see a crazy transformation compared to when you started. So I started thinking long term about other aspects of life as well. So my business, I'm thinking I need to follow my dream, and in order to achieve my dream, I will need to take these small steps towards that dream, and I will need to be consistent with those steps to actually achieve my dream. So let's take an example. I want to follow my dream, and my dream is to become financial free so I can have time of freedom, I would call it, where I can work when I want, where I want, and just prioritize what I really want to prioritize, which is health and relationships. So my bigger goal is I need to think long term if I want to achieve this. I need to think, how do I get to my dream and what steps do I need to take in order to get to my dream? For me, it was about starting this YouTube channel for me because I want to share the journey and really just document everything. And then I'm starting a clothing line because this clothing line aligns with my interests, and this is something I can sustain and be consistent on in the long run. So right now I'm reading a book called Feel Good Productivity by Ali Abdaal. He's a really great YouTuber. You've probably heard of him, and he's giving like honestly so many genuine advice. But like, why am I reading this book is my first thought. What's the purpose of this? Why am I reading this? What's my like long-term goal? So why am I reading this? Well, I'm reading this to improve my mindset. That's my overall goal. I want to become a better version of myself. I want to approach life in a holistic way where I can improve my health both physically and mentally. So I'm reading this book to become like a better version of myself. How do I like read this book? Well, I'm going to read 2 pages or 5 pages each day and take notes to those pages so I can actually become a better me. So these small steps has a meaning. They go in line with the bigger goal of improving my own mindset. And that's why you need to think about things long term and not just short term. Like the trendy words for this are probably you want the instant dopamine hits, but you don't really want that. That is like short term, and the long term is like the delayed gratitude. Second point is that you really need to define your why, and you need to reflect on yourself during this. This why goes hand in hand with thinking long term, because your why is what motivates you to do something in small steps that will affect yourself long term. Just ask yourself, why am I really doing this? What are you doing this for? Am I doing this to become a professional footballer if you play football every day? Like, or what are you trying to achieve? Like the tasks you are doing, ask yourself why. Why are you doing this? And really get to the core of the why. Like, what is the end objective for this? And as I mentioned before, once you have your why, you can start breaking that down into smaller actionable steps and thinking, okay, Let's say that you want to lose weight. You want to lose 10 kilograms in 6 months. But that's a long-term goal. You can't just wake up tomorrow and be 10 kilograms lighter. There's no way you do that. So you need to think about the small actionable steps you take towards losing these 10 kilograms. Well, it could be, okay, let's say you are currently walking 2,000 steps a day. So you are increasing that to 10,000 steps. So you are actually taking 8,000 more steps a day. And those extra steps will then lead to you losing those 10 kilos after 6 months. So it's these small steps you're taking. So you have a long-term goal of losing 10 kilograms, but what is the bigger why? Why do you want to lose those 10 kilograms? Is it to look healthier? It is to look better on the beach? Like why? Why are you doing this? And that's what you need to define in everything you're doing in life. Define your why. Figure out why you're doing something. Then set a goal for that why. Let's take the losing weight example. It's really easy and tangible for most people. So losing 10 kilos in 6 months will require you to take small steps and being consistent with those small steps to reach your goal of losing 10 kilograms, which will align with your why you're doing something. So when you're doing those small steps, you need to think of the bigger why. And that will keep you going towards your dream, because if you're just walking 8,000 steps a day with no purpose, then what's the purpose? You need to have a purpose. And I talked about purpose in previous videos where I'm talking about a dream and a purpose and all that. So you need to have a purpose of what you're doing. And purpose is kind of a why, because the why is the reason you're doing something. And this really just taps into modern society about delaying gratitude and delaying like these instant dopamine hits that you get from like social media and all that. So it's about being satisfied with doing 8,000 steps a day more than you're currently doing, and then have a really great end result by the summer when you have lost 10 kilograms. You're actually delaying the gratitude because you cannot wake up tomorrow and have lost 10 kilograms. And you need to change your mindset into thinking that it's okay that I can't wake up tomorrow and actually have lost 10 kilograms, because you need to actually do the work to reach your goal. But when you reach your goal, it feels way more authentic compared to like all these instant dopamine hits of watching porn or like being on social media for 6 hours a day. And I'm not perfect either. I'm just telling you that if you define these things, it'll actually change the way you look at goals in life and just your life in general and all the things you want to achieve. It will change your mindset.